place to be. Welcome, you guys. My name is Donovan Saadiq. I am the Inland Empire Informer, also nationally known as the Recovering Democrat. And it is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. It is 6:50 p.m. Just wanted to drop a little gem for you guys to think about, because I've been getting a lot of questions in regards to moving forward and what the new black media is going to do. We are still going to be advocating for reparations and what is due to the FBAs of this country. Everybody else got what they needed. Now we should be in the front of the line, right? So again, welcome, you guys. Give me a second to kind of hey, Rain Love, how you doing, sweetheart? How you doing? Thanks for joining me. Please like, share, and of course you're already a subscriber, so uh really appreciate that. But a lot of questions are going on. People have been asking me, and like I said, I'm not an expert, and I don't believe anybody's an expert, but I'm very well versed in politics because that's what I love. I love history. I have a good recall memory. And if you guys have watched me on Demetra K's show, even on my show, hey, facts, not feelings. Um, in general, when it comes to the technical stuff, Demetra could ask me the question and I can give her the numbers just based off what's off the top of my head. And that's one of the problems that Kamala Harris had when she was running for office, is that she could not speak off the top of her head, and she didn't come off as authentic and genuine. So give me a second here. I'm trying to find this video where we are live. I usually don't get it, but if you guys see the video, I don't see it. Going live on here is kind of new for me. I usually go live on Facebook, but I've been told I need to go live on YouTube because it's a bigger, broad range of things to do. So, I appreciate everybody that comes in. I don't care about likes and all that other stuff. I care about the knowledge. Oh, here it is. There I am, right there. Okay. I'm going to share this real quick on Facebook, real quick. Guys, give me a second here. Got to do some homework. And of course, I didn't put any bells and whistles on there. It's kind of one of the things I just don't care about that. I just care about the knowledge. I care about the actual getting the information out there for people. So that's what I actually care about. But okay, so let's get into it real quick. Let me get my little bell here. Hold on, make sure you guys. All right, kids, go ahead and take your seats. Class is about to start. Do not the gym buzzer. Get to your seats. Get to your seats. Get to your seats. Let me see. Okay, you guys can hear me and everything like that. Great. Everything is going great. I'm getting used to this mixer and all this sound stuff. But again, I'm Donovan Saadiq, the Recovering Democrat. Do not forget to check me out on the Demetra K Show. Sundays, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. You will see Demetra and I up there talking about all kinds of topics and stuff that goes on in the African diaspora. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You're going to see great videos from my co-host, Demetra K, Brother Phil Scott, Vicki Dillard, Wangel, and a whole host of new contributors to the African Diaspora channel, even through the Emancipation channel. So if you guys want to do like, share, subscribe, become a member. You could buy memberships. I think to me, I think that is the best gift to give people, because some people, they do like the new black media. They just don't want to pay the money. So I think that would be a great gift. So please subscribe to Demetra K and also to the African Diaspora News Channel app. Don P, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not gonna bore you guys too much. I mean, Dallas Cowboys are out. They're not going to be in the playoffs. So why can't you guys be here? There's no point in watching Thursday night football or any other football for the rest of the year, because the Cowboys aren't going to win it. But we will win it next year. It'll be 30 years since we won the damn Super Bowl. So now, after 30 years of waiting for the rest of the league to catch up to our excellence, we're going to go in there, go undefeated, all the way to the Super Bowl. Okay? No doubt in my mind, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So I know. Again, there is no more delusional fan than a Dallas Cowboy fan. So, I'm just one of them. I'm very delusional. I expect the Cowboys to go to the championship every year. I just do. I'm sorry. I just do. And for those of you guys that don't, Kansas City Chiefs, they were originally the Dallas Texans. So they are actually lineage of the Dallas Cowboys. So, if you want to play that game. TEW 1970. Hey, Donovan, they are swearing on the new members of the CBC tomorrow per Roland's podcast. Yeah, it's just, what do we get out of it? Nothing. Mike Nice, good to see you, brother. Good to see you guys again. Please like, share, and subscribe and share this on you guys' platforms. And what I do is usually when I go on other people's platforms, I don't just share it on my platform. I share it on my groups that I'm in locally and everything like that. For those guys that are interested, Corey Jackson has not met with me, and he hasn't scheduled to meet with me. How long does it take to put me on a schedule? Even when you try to do things the right way, these people just, they don't want to confront you because, here in California, these are some snakes, and he is a piece of crap. And I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna stick to that. Okay, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of what's happening here. I've been getting a lot of emails about Trump being an insurrectionist and this is that. Can the Democrats stop Trump from taking office? Yes, they can. But as I've told you guys, corporate Democrats are no different than corporate Republicans. Do you guys actually believe they are going to remove Donald Trump even if they have the votes to do so? They're not. That's why they ran a crash dummy candidate like Kamala Harris, who is just going to get on her knees, toot it up a little bit, whatever, to what they wanted to do. And they took all of that money and they put it in their pockets to their consultants and to their, their white supremacy advisor friends and all these people that are supposed to be experts. If these people are the expert as bad as she got beat down, I don't know what an expert is. But I want to show you guys basically how they can do it. And I don't think they're going to do it. I don't even think they're going to try to do it. And Kamala Harris, she is the one that's going to officiate over the vote counting because according to the Constitution, Congress has to certify the votes. But there is a way that they can do it. Now, remember, Donald Trump was impeached twice. In the second time he was impeached, it was based on January 6th in regards to insurrection. And even some Republicans voted, to impeach him, even though he didn't get impeached. It still was the fact that they had those votes there. So now that we're going to the certification, if the Democrats were really serious about this man being Hitler and he's this and oh my God, it's the end of the world and he's a fascist and all this other stuff, this is their last opportunity to save this country, to stop the slave patrols. Oh my God, the boule, like they said, oh my God, it's going to be the worst thing ever. He's going to do this and he's going to put black people in slavery. And I mean, this is our last chance, Kunta. This is our last chance, Kunta. NASA going to do it. See, we going to let the Democratic Party, the party that is the military arm of, well, the Ku Klux Klan is the military arm of the Democratic Party. But the party that is totally against racial equality, the party that we vote for overwhelmingly, they are going to right the ship. You guys actually believe this? They are going to right the ship and defend our rights to be human beings, even though they don't acknowledge us as human beings, and citizens of this country, because Donald Trump was an insurrectionist. Do you actually think they really give a damn? This is their last opportunity, and I'm going to prove how they're going to do it. So give me a second here. All right. Hope you guys can see this. Let me just double check to make sure, we're all, there we go. Okay, we're good. We are good. Oh my God, this is working better than I thought. Jesus. I've been trying this stuff and I just, I know people think because you're on, social media, you think that you know a lot about computers. I'm 54 years old. I don't know a lot of this stuff. But anyway, here it is. For those guys, I try to do this, layman's terms, like the military. How many of you guys know the military? Uh, they dumb everything down to a sixth grade education. So if you have at least a sixth grade education, everything in the military is understood to that level, unless you get to some kind of specialist, like a pilot or physics or something like that. You're doing something very, very specialized. But the general enlistees that come into the military, the education is dumbed down to a sixth grade level. So, because we need bodies, so we're not going to make it too complicated. Over there, shoot, left, right. You know how that thing goes. But anyway, here it is. The disqualification from public office under the 14th Amendment. So it's going to take the 14th Amendment that they can invoke. And I don't even think they're going to invoke it. But will they even try? My bet is they're not even going to try it. Well, for the better of the country, we're going to just, to keep everything cool and move forward. We need to move forward. Ever since Nixon, there has been no accountability for the highest officials of our government. And it's just sad. And that was the precedence that started all of that. So the disqualification clause of the 14th Amendment prevents public officials who engage in treason from holding a future public office. This amendment dates back to the Reconstruction era to prevent members of the Confederacy from resuming power after the Civil War ended. The 14th Amendment is best known for protecting civil rights, among other things. The 14th Amendment, it grants citizenship, all that other, all the good stuff is. There is a disqualification clause. Section 3 of the USS Constitution, 14th Amendment states, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or an elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislator or as an executive or judicial officer, anybody that has been elected to office or served in the military to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. So what that means right there, the 2/3 of the House, if 2/3 of the House vote to not invoke that clause, then Trump walks free. Okay, he's going to walk right in there. Let's just go down a little bit. Uses of the disqualification clause. The disqualification clause prevented a handful of public officials from retaking office in the late 1860s and early 1870s based on their ties to the Confederacy. They included a county sheriff, a U.S. congressman, and even a local postmaster. At that time, there was a general understanding that the disqualification clause barred ex-Confederates. So many more former officials didn't attempt to run for office again during this period. However, in 1872, Congress passed the Amnesty Act. This removed Section 3, disqualification for most former Confederate officials, except high-profile leaders like Jefferson Davis. If you're really up there and you're really popular, that's what they do to kind of do that. Okay, so that's the precedence that that the Democrats can use to invoke to not let him take office. But are they going to do that? Remember, the Democrats have told us this man's going to put us in slavery. Project 2025, all of this stuff that's going to happen. They're going to be slave patrols. All of this stuff is going to happen. Is the Democratic Party going to save us? Are they going to save us from him, repealing the 13th and 14th Amendment against us and our rights as Black people? Because, the Democratic Party has shown over the last 100 years, after all of our loyalty to them, that they're going to protect Black people's rights. What do you guys think about that? And, to me, it's nothing to be alarmed about, but that is one way that they can do it. But I don't even think they're even going to try to invoke it, so this is the game both parties play. It's political theater. And that's why there's only two major parties that really matter, because as long as they can play ping pong with the American people and the black vote, and even until this very day, they are still not admitting the main reason why Kamala Harris lost that election was because she lost the black vote. She lost a third of the black vote, 20, 28, 27, 28% of the black vote is why she lost that election. They won't acknowledge that because they don't want us to know our power. Even Malcolm X said it in the 1960s. We are the deciding factor who goes into the White House and who goes into the doghouse. And we showed it again in this election cycle. Again, I don't care, if you're Democrat, Republican, I don't care who you voted for. The bottom line is Kamala Harris, this DEI politics and all this bullshit, you do not run. Abortion is a divisive issue. You do not run on a national ticket on abortion. Nobody cares. You're alienating half of your electorate. The bottom line is she was a very bad candidate. And again, a lot of people who are not from my home state of California that did not know her record, that didn't help the situation either. And I'm going to tell you, the nail in her coffin was her unilateral support of Israel in the genocide that was going on in Gaza. And that really ticked off a lot of the Middle Eastern people that just refused to vote for her. That's what went down, So again, Don P says that's because most white men are at that intelligence level with their high IQs. Yeah, it can be done, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. Now that we know that it can be done, right? It's in law, it's in the Constitution. Do they have the votes to do it? And even if they have the votes, do you guys actually think they're going to do it? I don't, because it's political theater. Both sides are corporate people. They're owned by the corporations. And the only person that wins in this situation is the corporations. But we want to take a side here. We want to it's like me being a Dallas Cowboy fan, right? I'm going to ride with my team no matter what. That is what politics has fallen to. Everybody wants to be on the winning side. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party has shown black people their asses, and yet we still overwhelmingly vote for them. Even in this last election, we overwhelmingly still voted Democrat. But again, that little group that broke off made the difference in her getting into the White House or not getting into the White House. And so now that 27, 28% of black people now have leverage. It's like being in the House. Do you know, like in Congress, where they always say, well, if we just had more Democrats, we could get more done. No, you don't. The Asians got a crime bill, a protection bill, and they're not a majority. But again, that minority that had the power to go up to Joe Biden and say, if you don't give us a bill, none of your stuff is going to pass. That was the power. That was the power. And so now in our community, that 27, 28% that walked away or sat on the couch, they now have the power to decide if we're going to get anything, if we're not going to get anything, if the Democrats are going to win or if they're not going to win. It's as simple as that. It comes down to that. And, and people have to recognize that. They, even with all this political theater that they do, you would think that they would at least make an attempt, right? I don't think they're even going to do that because they don't want you, the American people, to know there are things in the Constitution that they can do to get rid of these dirtbag politicians. They don't want you to know that. So I don't even think they're going to invoke it. They're going to say, well, we got to move the country forward. America made a decision and they want to go with Trump. So we're going to go with Trump. We don't want to make this a big drag out fight, whatever. No. You told us, and I'm not a Democrat, but you told the Democratic people this man was so bad that he was another Hitler. And you've got these people panicked. You got these people in fear. And now here it is, your last attempt to stop fascism, and you won't do it. So black people are going to be slaves. Project 2025. What else bullshit that they came up with to scare black people to vote? Uh, uh, they're going to stop government programs. Well, they're going to do that anyway because they're Republicans. That's what Republicans do. Government programs are going to be cut. I'm for that. They're going to deport illegals. I'm for that too. So, Facts Not Feeling says Letitia James is angling to get to the governor seat on the back of Brooks lynching. That's another case of Dems showing blacks their ass. It's it's having a counter on how long it takes to arrest the 14. Yeah, Facts Not Feelings. That the good thing is people like yourself, Demetra K, Phil Scott, and a whole plethora of people out there that are that got this knowledge and they're putting it out there so people could now look at stuff. Now, what I showed you guys in the sharing aspect, that's just a general idea. Maybe one person who never even thought of looking it up will now look it up for themselves and get an understanding for themselves. Because, like I said, I can interpret something. If there's a crash, right, a car crash, we're all standing on the four corners, right? We all see it differently. Maybe two of us might see it the same way, but most likely we all see it differently, right? So people are going to interpret the Constitution, the laws very differently. But all that matters is how they're going to apply it. Doesn't matter how we interpret it, it's how they're going to apply it. And, if people would just look up stuff and read, of course, black people, we don't read. It's very sad. Um, you know, but for me to bring this issue up and for other people to bring the issue up, think about it. If I'm a hardcore Democrat and I'm scared of 2025 and they're going to put me into slavery, and then I've watched Donovan Saadiq's program and he was talking about there's a last ditch effort of the 14th Amendment where they could, Article 3, where they can stop Trump and they don't do it. That shows me everything I need to know about the Democratic Party. Right there shows me that they are lying to me. There's nothing to be afraid of, or white supremacy is just white supremacy and they're working together. I mean, to me, it's a no win for the Democrats if they don't do anything. It just proves our point. It proves the point of benign neglect and continued neglect. But yet, in 2 years, when the congressional votes come up, they are going to want your vote. They're going to be coming knocking on your door, wanting your vote. And then what are you going to say? Hey, you didn't stop Trump, fascism. He didn't put us in slavery. He didn't do all these things that you said they were going to do. Get off my doorstep. Just get off my doorstep. So that is where we're at. And I wanted to bring that up because a lot of people have been asking me, because if you think about it, you haven't heard anything since. You haven't heard one thing since she lost the election. You haven't heard any of the Boulay, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, anybody talking all those talking points that applies and all this. Nigga, y'all niggas don't know how to, because she a woman. She a woman. No, she's a bad candidate. She's just a damn bad candidate. But they haven't said one thing. But we're in danger. Oh, you got to vote Democrat. You got to vote for Kamala. Okay, where are you guys at? Your average logical thinker. Hey, Donovan, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. I know you were doing some stuff out there. I got my drones flying around Langley, so don't worry about it. But no, good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you guys had a happy New Year, and a little man had a great Christmas. I'm sure he did. You probably spoiled him, as you moms usually do. Don P says the plan is JD and 25th to 48. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That, yep, yep. He's going to be the next one. I know that for a fact. Facts Not Feeling says it was all a con before the election, then silence after. Exactly. It just shows you who they are and what they've been actually doing. And if more and more people would see stuff like this and educate themselves, because fear is taught. Fear is taught, as a lot of us know. Fear is something that is taught. If you don't know any better, you won't do any better, right? But if you know better, you try to do better. So all that stuff is taught. And the more of us that come out and put this information out there, I would be wholly disappointed. It's kind of like My Dallas Cowboys, right? Think about it for you guys that are football people. You have a chance to win the game and you're on the 30-yard line. It's 4th and 3. All you need is a field goal. You're at the 40-yard line. Do you kick the field goal and go for the win? Or do Hail Mary it to go for the touchdown, to go for the 7 points versus the 3? And that's when I'm looking at the Democratic Party. You have a chance to stop this man in his tracks. Are you even going to make an attempt? And we know, and my thing is, it's not the fact that they can do anything. I could care less. It's the fact is, are they going to try? I don't even think they're going to try. And that tells me a lot about people when they don't even try. You got to have a positive attitude about everything you do. I don't know if you guys are like super nerds. I know your average logical thinker is. She was an NCO in the military, but it's kind of like the hero's journey, right? Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. That was a hero's journey, right? Do you actually lose when you fail? Do you actually lose? When is it that the hero actually loses? Does he lose because he lost the battle? Does he lose because he failed? Or does he lose when he quits? I was under the impression you. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, you guys. There was nothing wrong with my Wi-Fi. That was basically probably the program or something like that, which brings up another issue. We need to hurry up and get off of these people's programs and things and get on our own where we won't have these interruptions and we're having these great discussions. They know we're talking about this stuff and they're going to try to shut us down. So sorry about that. But what was I saying? The hero's journey. Does the hero actually lose when he fails or he loses the battle? In the Star Wars saga, Luke continually made mistakes, even up until Return of the Jedi. Because remember, Yoda said, you're not a Jedi until you confront your father. And even when he was confronting Darth Vader with the Emperor, remember when he tried to get the lightsaber and strike the Emperor down? That was a mistake, because he gave in to anger, right? But he fixed it and stuff and got in control and all that other great stuff. And he ended up having faith in his father, the most the most optimistic guy in the galaxy. That's why with these sequels with Star Wars, have you guys noticed that our childhood heroes, that they're making them losers in these sequels and stuff? I mean, think about it. Han Solo went back to being a smuggler. Luke Skywalker is a mean old disgruntled hermit. Princess Leia just broke down from the boat from the boat down. You know what I mean? They just destroy all of our heroes. It's just crazy. It's just a crazy thing. So that's something I want you guys to think about in regards to the certification of the voting. That's going to happen January 6th. Kamala Harris has, as the vice president and the president of the Senate, she has to preside over the counting of the votes, the certification of the election. And I don't think the Democrats are even going to attempt to do it, but they can do it. They can do it, and people forgot that this man was uh, he was impeached twice, and the last one was for insurrectionist type things. But this goes to show you that when it comes to white supremacy, oh, they're not going to tank that. That above all else, above everything. That is above everything. White supremacy. That is one thing these parties will uphold, is that white supremacy. So January 6th is going to be very, very interesting. I want you guys to seriously tune into that, because it's going to tell you everything you need to know. It's going to tell you from the time that they open that gavel and she hits that gavel and they open the proceedings. If the Democrats do not have a opposition to Donald Trump taking office, the fix is in. The fix is in. Thunder says, is this going to be another January 6th? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. MAGA Red, their boy is back in. Now, some of these MAGA Blue people, man, these guys are as bad as, these guys are just, I thought MAGA Red was bad, but when you're born, bred to be a Democrat, no matter what, man, I just, these guys are hardcore. I hope that's not the situation, Thunder. But again, I tell people all the time, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. When I'm on my property, I always have my, you know, I'm always carrying. If I have a sling over my shoulder, the little teenage kids will see me, and they'll be like, "Oh, is that a BB gun?" No, it's not. So, but yeah, they're unhinged. But Cornelius Green, how unhinged are they? Are they unhinged enough to invoke Article 14 of the Constitution? Are they unhinged enough to do that? Which would be surprising to me, but I don't think they're even going to do that. But then, if they don't do it, why wouldn't MAGA Blue go against their own people and start getting those people off those seats? You know, but it could be, like I said, anything's open. But the fact of the matter is, the issue isn't closed. They have a way to stop Donald Trump from being seated as president, and I want to see if they're going to do it. And I don't think they will. I don't think they will. And that's my issue with the MAGA Blue. They talk, 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 but when the pudding hits the road, nothing. There's nothing there. They don't deliver, like they don't deliver for black people, live for everybody else, but they won't deliver for us. It's all political theater. It's all political theater. I guarantee what you guys are going to see, I think it's Tuesday. Is that the 6th? The 6th, yeah. No, it's Monday. The 6th is Monday. What you're going to see on Monday is what you saw in 2000 during the Bush-Gore thing. You're going to see a bunch of Democrats get up there and object to Donald Trump being president, but they won't invoke Article 14. Amendment 14, not article. Amendment 14 of the Constitution. They won't invoke Article 14, Amendment 14, Article 3. They won't invoke it. So, but they're going to get up there. They're going to grandstand. You're going to see your girl, Jasmine Crockett. Ooh, yeah. Hold on. Dimitri's not here. She gonna put a little wig on. She gonna get the little nails done. Oh yeah, I'm claiming my time, and Trump ain't this, ain't that. I stand up, and I just refuse to acknowledge him as my president. Blah blah blah. It's all gonna be a show. It's gonna be a big show, and that's what you're gonna see from the CBC. That is what you're gonna see. Just smoke and mirrors. That's all it's gonna be. And then, of course, you've got Black people who love to be entertained. Oh yeah, girl, did you hear Jazz? Did you see Jasmine Crockett, girl? She was looking good. Oh man, she was giving it to him, whatever the deal is. Donald Trump is still going to walk up on there and be president of the United States. Thunder says, in Texas, we call that a reach around, pronounce reach around. For if there's a problem, all you have to do is reach around and get you a problem solved. Right, exactly. Cornelius Green says, Jasmine Crockett is nothing but hot air. She's nothing but an attack dog. Exactly. I always tell people, and I challenge Black people who support these Black politicians, look at their official congressional record. It will tell you everything you need to know about them. When I exposed John Lewis, congressional record, people came for my head. I mean, it was just unbelievable because in 30 years as a congressman, this man did nothing but name post offices in Atlanta and give out Civil Rights Medal of Freedom. Had no legislation toward Black people whatsoever in his congressional record. But he had the Dreamers in there. He had everybody else, but nothing specific to Black people. So again, Jasmine Crockett, I even looked her stuff up even to this very day. Nothing in regards to Black people, but immigration, migrants, Dreamers, anything else, all there, you know? But Joe Biden could go to Africa and give them $1 billion for their water infrastructure so that they can have clean water. But people in Flint, Michigan, Black people in Flint, Michigan are still dealing with the problem of water there. What the hell is going on in this country when we prioritize other people over the damn Americans who are damn paying the bills? What are we doing, people? What are we doing? You know, Dimitri's a little bit more level-headed. I really do feel, and somebody pointed this out, I really do feel a lot of you guys watch me to see me go off. and I know sometimes it's kind of cool when you see a guy go off because it's funny, but you know, it just pisses me off. What the hell are we doing here? We are sending people to represent us that don't bring home the bacon. But yet, if we look at our relationships, ladies, if a man is supposed to be a man and you're giving him all the loving and you're raising his children and you're keeping his house and he's not bringing home the bacon, you would not accept that. You would be out that door, no questions asked. But yet, when it comes to our public servants, and we got to stop calling them leaders. They are not leaders. They are representatives and public servants. And this is another thing that makes us bow to their authority, their perceived authority. You know, we got it backwards. We're the bosses. They're supposed to listen to us. And if they don't listen, out you go. We got it backwards. But again, even as a man, if a woman ain't taking care of my children, sexing me, whatever else, you know, a woman is supposed to do in a relationship, I'm out the door. I'm out the door. Well, because the laws, I'd be probably creeping or whatever I'm going to be doing. But the point is, the relationship is over between she and I. You know, maybe stay for my kids. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But you guys see what I'm saying? But why don't we have that same venom for our elected representatives? You know, we keep them in there for a lifetime. I saw a video today. Maxine Waters was in front of a congressional board, banking board, something. It was something. It was a banking board because she's no longer the ranking member. She's the ranking Democratic member, but the Republicans held it. This woman is dumb as a rock. It was dumb as a rock, and they tried to break it down to her so that she understood what she was saying, because everything was basically what she was saying was people that don't have money should be okay. Let me break this down. Basically, this is what they were saying. Okay, I'm a military guy. I have good credit, I own my house, whatever the deal is, right? So I go for a loan, right? I get a lower loan rate because my credit is good, everything is good. I pay my bills on time, whatever the deal is, right? She was advocating for the fact that here's somebody who made all the wrong decisions, who don't have their ducks in a row, they don't have the down payment for a house or whatever it is, but yet they should be getting the same consideration as somebody who did it the way it's supposed to be done. And everybody was breaking it down to her like, no, there's all kinds of factors of why this person gets a lower rate versus this person who now has to pay a higher rate. It's kind of like our credit cards, right? Some people get a lower rate credit card at 8%, 6%, and some people get a 34% rate. It's all based on the decisions you've made in your financial lives. You know, you, what would be the whole point of leveling the playing field? Because everybody's not at the same level. And they were breaking that down to her, and she was dumb. She was as dumb as a rock. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. And her staff is just sitting there, all her whole woman staff, by the way. They're just sitting there, could care less. It's just messed up. Yeah. And in your average logical thinker, she is the ranking member on the banking committee. Oh my God, you have to go look it up. I mean, she just and her wig was all messed up. And they had to break it down to her. The guy said, because he likes Jim Brown, he said it's like Jim Brown made all these touchdowns, right? What Maxine Waters is proposing, you take all his touchdowns from him and give it to somebody who didn't make the touchdowns, but you want an even playing field. No, Jim Brown did that. He's the one that made the touchdowns. This every it's the participation trophy mentality. You know that happened in the 90s and stuff where all the kids, oh, everybody should get a trophy. No, not everybody should get a trophy. But this is the representation we keep sending back and back and back. And then when you look at Maxine Waters' record, she don't work for black people no more because her district is mostly Hispanic. She works for Hispanics. I know some of you guys are gonna say, well, if her district is Hispanic, why would she still be there? Why would Hispanic people remove her if she's doing their bidding? That's politics. That's how it works. All Maxine cares about is power. But when she first got elected, I'm going to go get reparations. That was over 35 years ago. It's just sad, you guys. Uh, like I said, I'm at a loss of words, and sometimes I sit here and I ask myself, why am I still doing this? Or better yet, I'm gonna be honest with you guys because we're all family here. I'll be honest with you guys. I say, why am I doing this here in the United States? I should be overseas somewhere, enjoying a nice Mai Tai with the beach sounds right outside my door. But here I am in the United States dealing with this crap. I could do this overseas somewhere. But another reason is I'm a homeowner. I pay taxes here. What's the point of having a home if you don't occupy it, you don't use it, stuff like that. So yeah. So your average logical thinker says Maxine Waters can't do it alone, Donovan. Where are all the brothers to rally behind her? Well, that's a good question, and I'm going to tell you where all the brothers are. They got gentrified out of the damn neighborhood. Remember the Bloods and the Crips? They're all gone. They're all gone. They can't afford to live here. Remember that, they put a $6 billion stadium in the heart of the black community in Los Angeles. Just right there, couldn't do it near Beverly Hills. They couldn't do it near Beverly Hills. They had to put it in the heart of the black community. And that's where the homelessness in California, the black homelessness, that's the correlation between that stadium and where the black homelessness population started to creep up. So that's where the fellas went. You know how that goes. You're from California. I mean, come on, San Diego. There's some areas in if it wasn't for the big Navy Marine community and bases that are there, San Diego would be in the same boat as Los Angeles. Be in the same boat. So Don P says, I'm trying to tell you, I'm going to Burkina Faso before the wheels fall off this bitch. Exactly. I'm telling you, what are we doing? What are we doing? But the thing is, if we don't make a stand now for our children and our grandchildren, by the time they come of age, there is no stand to be made. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the laws would have already been put in place, and it'll be a normal thing for black people not to have shit. So it's up to us to make the stand now. The earlier we make the stand, the better our legacies have to continue the fight. You know what I mean? Cornelius Green, Sophia Stadium, and Intuit Dome gentrified a lot of our folks. Yeah, and Maxine Waters and all these people let it happen. They let it happen, and I remember when it was happening here. I was I got out of the military in 2012, and that's what opened my eyes up when I saw what was going on here, and I couldn't believe it, and I just kept and I've been ringing the alarm ever since. I've been ringing the alarm ever since. People tell me, "Why are you still in California?" Well, again, I could afford to live here, and this is where I'm from, you know? So for me, knock on wood, I made the right decisions. I didn't have a lot of vices. My biggest kryptonite is women. That's my biggest kryptonite. I love women. And and I'm lucky to be here, but my neighborhood is basically Tijuana at this point. I mean, it's nothing but Hispanics. For me to communicate with my neighbors, I have to speak Spanish to them. They are not even interested in learning English here. So, Eunice Williams says, "Good evening. I hope all is well. No disrespect. Isn't she an immigrant?" I'm not saying that it's all of them, but most of them don't look out for FBAs. No, Maxine Waters, she's from the South. She's a FBA. Maxine Waters goes, she's a silent generation person. I would not be surprised. Her husband was a sharecropper. I don't mean to be mean. I'm just saying she's a silent generation person. As a matter of fact, I think Maxine Waters was in Sounder in 1972. They cast her instead of Cicely Tyson. Well, Cicely Tyson got the job. Anyway, don't get me started. See, if Demetri was here, I'd be in a lot of trouble. But yes, cat is my kryptonite. It is. I mean, and I'm not. Look, I am unapologetic about it. I love women. Period. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, but she ought to be ashamed of herself. Yeah, her, Lee, Barbara Lee. There's a whole bunch of them. People always say, well, and Eunice, I don't know if you're aware of this. Even if you got all the black people together to fight legislation here in California, there's not enough of us because too many people have left California. There's less than 6% of the population of California is black, and it's getting lower every day because what they've done is they've gentrified black people out of their neighborhoods, and they've gentrified us out of politics. There's only 14 members of the California CBC, and they ain't shit. Okay. One of them is my assembly member that stopped reparations. So this is what's happening. And we're trying to ring the alarm for when you guys see this stuff going on in your neighborhood, like they put the illegals in your neighborhood. They start buying up the properties or all the violence and stuff that happens. Oakland is destroyed. Oakland looks like Beirut. It looks like Gaza right now. This is what liberal policies does. And if you guys look at California and use that as a model, you will be aware of what is going on. When you see Hispanics start getting on your city council seats and getting in these positions as supervisors and things like that, be wary. Seriously, be wary, because that's how they make your political voice zero. Black people have no voice in politics in California. That is a fact. That is a fact. Your logical thinker says, I can't get through a live stream without mentioning Bissonnette. I don't know. I saw the movie. Demetri made me see the movie. So I watched the movie. I didn't know that thing existed. But again, I'm glad you brought that up. We walk around here in our neighborhoods acting like the Blade doesn't exist. Every black neighborhood, there's a Blade. And it's not the fact that you got the single mom that's 30 something years old and, she needs a light bill paid or whatever. You got 19 and 16-year-old girls walking the Blade. And they're all strung out on weed because it ain't the Bob Marley weed from back in the day. This weed is laced with all this. These women look like zombies, and they're all tatted up, looking like typhoid victims and stuff like that. What do you call that when you got the skin disease? They look just nasty. It just looks But we drive and we act like we don't see these people. And in San Bernardino, there's a it's been there for a long time. It's like Figueroa or something like that. It's right by a school, and we act like we don't see this, and our little children see this stuff. It is sad. It is so sad, and, we really gotta make a stand. We really gotta make a stand, and we need you guys, to share this message, and if, people, um, fight you on it, if we're not asking you guys to fight with people and get in an argument, just, send them a YouTube video, send them a link, buy them a membership in, African Diaspora News Channel, the man, Demetra K or whatever. Buy them a membership and say, "Hey, God bless you. Just take a look at this." Every now and then, I'll see a video that's kinda interesting, and I'll put it out there and just, and I'll be surprised some of the people that do see it. My mom hates this show. Okay, well, she doesn't hate it, but she doesn't like the way I present myself on the show, okay? But, "Mom, I'm 54 years old. I'm gonna do what I need to do." And and what it is, it's like it's like, when Demetra and I first started. A lot of people tune in, I really think, to see me go off, right? That'll bring some eyes to like, "Man, there's this guy, he just goes off," whatever else. Because in my community, when I would go to city council meetings, I would go off. And people were like, "Man, this guy comes in here and he be throwing out the facts and he just goes off." And people were just watching and watching. And then I started my podcast and the people were listening. And yeah, it's just, you got to have a niche. And then this is what I try to tell my mom. You might not like the way I present myself, but it's a niche because I know a lot of you guys get frustrated. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of playing nice with people. I am tired of being, well, let's kumbaya moment and let's all do this. We've tried that. It doesn't work. Now I'm gonna get in your ass. Okay. I'm at the point I'm gonna get in your ass. It's like my dog Benny. I'm very patient with him. I'm very patient because I know he's still a puppy. But there comes a time sometimes where I have to discipline him. And my thing is, I don't want to go ham on him. I don't want to go ham, even though sometimes he does deserve it. But it's the same way, right? I am tired of playing nice and, okay, well, maybe next year, if you elect me this time when I get back in office. No, I'm not falling for that shit no more. Uh, the DEI, being nice, not calling it the way it is. No, this country was based on majority rule. I do not want gay people dictating to me what should be taught in the schools when the majority of the people in this country aren't gay. Women's rights. Hey, I'm all for women's rights, but guess what? I'm not here to fight it for you. If you want your rights, go fight them yourself. That's my thing. This country is found on majority rule. That's what I believe. And it just pisses me off because how is it that the minority is worried about their feelings? Well, golly, why aren't you worried about how black people feel? Why aren't you worried about that? We're the most homeless, but yet you keep telling us we're 13% of the population. And then if we're 13% of the population, that's not enough to affect an election. So why do you keep bothering us? Leave us alone. That's where I'm coming from with it. I'm just sick and tired of it. So, and I know a lot of you guys are too. Michael Pan, been getting your stuff, brother. I've been printing them out. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Michael says illegal migrants and Koreans are not that different when it comes to gentrifying cities and neighborhoods. Well, Michael, as you know, Asians are, at least in California, I know this for a fact. Asians are the number one landlords in California. Yep, yep, yep. Cornelio says, and the thing is, Hispanics are not a shoo-in for Democrats. Right. They, Hispanics are basically 60-40, 60% Democrat, and 40% Republican, right? And then when they get their business and they start living the good life, then they become Republicans. What's happening? Thunder says, what's happening in California? TBA calls it ethnic cleansing American style. Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. We have no political voice here. We've been gentrified out of our historic neighborhoods. I mean, come on, you guys. You got to see what's happening here in California. I'm not telling people to come visit because they're trying to clean it up before the Olympics 2028. Think about this. They've criminalized homelessness. So who is that going to affect? If black people are the most homeless in California and the most homeless across the nation, and California has criminalized homelessness, Who is that going to affect? So you mean to tell me I'm going to get a record and be arrested because I want to exercise my constitutional rights of being free and living off in the streets? It is now a crime because I refuse to go into these concentration camps that they're building for the unhomeless. Call it for what it is. Homeless people. Crazy. Don says, Donovan, I never told you that I earned a BS at Cal State University. Where's that one? Cal State University. Wait, what's the H for? I forget the H. Hayward and poli sci, public affairs and admin, just prudence, but they dual in criminal justice admin, criminal justice admin. I also attended law school. Yeah, well, I kind of picked that up myself. I don't know if you kind of knew that. I kind of picked up you had some jurisprudence, maybe a JS degree. That's what I kind of figured you had a JS degree in your background. But yeah, is it Hayward? Well, what's the H for? Cal State University. Eunice says, that is really disgusting. Yeah, it's bad, Eunice. I'm telling you. Don P says, when I talk my talk, I know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. And we need more people like you that are out there. We have all these educated HBCU grads. Where are they at? Where are these people at with all this knowledge? They're silent. What is going on here? Eunice says, I like your style. You're a very matter of fact. Yeah. Yeah, I'm passionate, Eunice. I'm just passionate because there's going to come a day where Donovan says, I've done everything I can. It's time for me to go and enjoy my life. I'm 54 years old and, the health is breaking down. I've got leukemia. And so I got to take care of me first. And my thing is, well, who's going to take up the mantle after me? Who's going to keep on going? And that's our problem as Black people. Just what happened at the civil rights movement. The minute that they got their civil rights, they went and got the hose. They went and got the Cadillac. They went and got the pimp clothes. Go look at your family albums. Go look at Uncle Rufus in there. How's he dressed? And Aunt Pearlie. Pearlie right there with her little go-go boots and the mini skirt. Come on, y'all. I put a video up on Facebook of it looked like it was like a dance thing or some kind of dance show, and the Black people were twerking. These people would be my parents' age. They were basically, making that move, you know what I mean? But here they are criticizing the young people. Criticizing young people. My mom says it all the time. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. You got into some good trouble, Cornelius. Yeah, good trouble. John Lewis, good trouble, good trouble, good trouble. Michael, most baby boomers are too civil with the enemy. Yeah, and that's their thing. And and Michael, the reason why the baby boomers are like that because they are a product of their environment. Because God bless them. A lot of them were raised under Jim Crow, separate but unequal, all that other good stuff. And when you're beat down so badly to where you can't even look a white person in the eye, I couldn't fathom not doing that. But some of our parents went through that. And like I said, that's why I give them grace. But at the same time, I say, if you're not going to get us anything and you're not going to fight for us, get the hell out of the way. Your average logical thinker, playing nice is what got us to where we are now. Yeah, exactly. The niceness is over. Look at those baby boomers in Chicago. They're done. Those are the real militants. Those were the militants from the 60s that probably, had to tone it down a little bit. They had to raise their families and stuff, but they said the hell with all this because they saw what was happening because they saw it go on in California. If you guys don't believe me, go back and watch Boys in the Hood. Why do I say Boys in the Hood? Because when did that movie come out? 1991? Something like that, 1990, 91 or something like that, Boys in the Hood? Or was it maybe 1989? It came out in 1989. Let's say 1989. But I would think 1990. In the movie, Lawrence Fishburne, who played Furious, he explained what gentrification was because it was happening then. Gentrification takes about 30 years before anybody realizes what's happening. So we're warning you guys now exactly what is happening. Yeah, Michael says like kicking the can down the road. Cornelius Green says the lamestream media and the neoliberals are worried about the fringes of society and their feelings. Right, exactly. See, a lot of us we get it. Don P says, "Thank you. It didn't earn me anything in this racist ass country except student loan debt and a jacked up credit score imbalance." Yeah, talking to your average logical thinker. Well, like I said, we need our educated black folks. I mean, I took law in college. I didn't. I should have gone for I should have gone for the law degree, but I got into aeronautics, nerd stuff. But yeah, I mean, I learned a lot though from it because it was like, whoa, this is like a game. How they do this? It's like I mean, just all the different laws, how they're applied, how they're enforced, who enforces it. There's so many loopholes in law. It's ridiculous. Um, Jeff says at Donovan, no, all of us are like that, and yes, leave the education system alone. But Jeff, let me ask you this: if the education system is so great, why is it that most of our adult young males that are graduating today could only read at a sixth grade level? If our education is so great today, why is it that our young people can't even write? Why should we stay in a system? I mean, to me, why have an education system at all if that's what our tax dollars is going to produce? So, why not give the parents the choice of a school voucher where they could get their kids to a better school? Why should our kids have to stay in mediocrity to where it's the start of the prison pipeline? Why should we do that? There are so many education systems, especially where the black people are, that the educators there are just there for the money. They're not educating our children. So why not have parents have school choice? That's all I'm saying. I hear what you're saying, but if the system is failing, why should we subject our kids to something that's not going to benefit them in the future? Just a different way to think about it. Yeah, black politicians selling the people down the river. See, Michael Pan even sees that. I mean, Cornelio says Asians fought hard in Philly against the Sixers, putting their new arena in the Chinatown neighborhood through though, which was unsuccessful. But I bet they'll keep fighting. Yeah, and it's going to come down to that money. Here in California, we call it the white envelope. You don't know what's in the white envelope, but it seems to be being passed between the politicians. Eunice says, just another way for them to enslave us. Yes, I saw a video on that and was really disturbed. Don P says, 13th Street in Oakland looks like Brazil and South Africa. Yeah, Hayward, now East Bay. Okay, yeah, I kind of figured it was probably Hayward. Yeah, but that's a good school though. And you're up north, so I know you had to come up with some serious coin. Because when I was in the military, when I went to Embry-Riddle, the military only paid 75% of it. Now they're going to pay 100, but when I went through, it was 75%, and even the 25% that I had to pay, I man, I that was still almost $100,000 that came out of my pocket. Thank God, all I got forgiven. And Demetria was so mad when I showed her. Oh my God, my student loans got forgiven. Cornelio says the Boule want status, and that's all. Yeah. Um, Michael said legal migrants are over in terms of pushing black people out. Them folks are covert in terms of pushing black people out. But see, here's the problem, Michael. The bad thing about illegal immigration, and you have illegals in your neighborhood, and I see it here in California. I've seen it all my life in California. We see those Latinas that is something a little different than what we're used to from our sisters, and a lot of these brothers are, and then the sisters too. And your average logical thinker, you know what I'm talking about. They're they're intermixing. And I'm not saying that's bad or anything like that, but the fact of the matter is when that intermixing happens, black culture is rarely taught. Very rarely taught. It depends on who the black parent is that's going to teach that. Usually those kids are taught Latin culture. Very heavy, if that's the case. Yeah, your astrological thinker. Donovan had leukemia and 54 and still fighting the good fight. You look amazing for all you're going through. God has blessed you, Donovan. Well, the thing is, I've taken a lot from the Lord, and I'm just trying to give back. Uh, I'm trying to buy my way into heaven. Well, Lord, if I do this, maybe if you anyway. Don says, I'll DM so we can talk studio tech. I established a company about 6 months ago. I need a website for a couple of my enterprises. Okay, well, I'm not really good at the tech stuff. I mean, but yeah, just DM me and let me know. I'll DM you. 91. Yep. Michael says, Donovan, although America has abused Black Americans for so many years, why do they want to stay in a wicked country when there are several African countries to choose from? Okay, Michael, that's a great question. And I'm glad you asked it. The reason why FBA Americans stay here is because we're from here. That's why. We are the only group of people in this country that didn't migrate from anywhere. And those of us that can remember our history, we're still not going to go back there because we're so far removed from it. Think about it, Michael. What is the only group that has been enslaved here in the United States? I don't want to hear about no damn Indians, okay, Native Indians. I don't want they have their own nation. They have their own casinos. They've been compensated. We're not talking about them. We're talking about other people who immigrated here. The only group of people who have ever immigrated here and experienced slavery was the FBA, the Black American. And when that happened, we lost our language, we lost our religion, we lost our culture. All of that was stripped away. But like Michael, when your people came, let's just say just Asians in general, when you guys come here, the immigration papers are written in Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese, all of that stuff. No, we had to learn English. We were forced all this stuff. Everything is given to you guys. Oh, here you go. Look, we're going to do this for you guys. But when it comes to Black people, nothing. We get nothing, man. That's why we're from here. We are a lost tribe of Africa because we're all from different tribes in Africa. We just don't know what tribes we're from. Like I said, Demetra knows she has Nigerian descent from her, but she doesn't know what tribe she's from. So again, that we're the only ones that experience that. Baby boomers compromise too much with the enemy. The days of compromising with the enemy are over. Yeah, but see, and also baby boomers are at an age now where they don't give a damn. They're on their way out. They're in their sunset years. You know, they're they're the type of people that'll say, "Pull yourself up by your bootstraps," but yet won't give up the wealth, won't help you in your situation. Think about it, you guys. How many of you guys have parents and grandparents where you're getting ready to go to college and they refused to co-sign a loan? They want you to go into government debt. Well, you get a FAFSA, get a Pell Grant, get whatever you can get from the government, but they would not help you whatsoever in regards to your education because you are a threat to them. They don't want to see you do better than they do. I mean, don't get me wrong, some parents do, but in general, we Black people, we weren't in a position to help our children. When I went to college, I didn't have a car. I was still in the military. I was walking to work. Thank God the base is right in front of my house. I mean, and I used to have friends, and your average logical think, you know what I'm talking about. People would come in the gate in the morning and they would see me walking. It'd be raining sometimes. And I'm like 18 years old. I joined the military when I was 17. I'm like 18 years old. I didn't have a car. And I'm just walking. I'm saving up my money from tech school and stuff because I just, got assigned. And they're like, "Oh, come on, man, get in the car, get in the car. We'll give you a ride." No, I didn't want my friends to give me a ride because then I would be dependent on them. So every day that I walked to school, I was thinking of how I'm going to get a car and what it's going to be like and all this other stuff. And I became dependent on myself. But my parents, even though my parents were in a position to give me a car, and they did, don't get me wrong, they did, but it wasn't the car that I wanted. Okay. And, I know people say, well, that's kind of ungrateful. No, actually, it's not because I didn't want the car and I don't want my parents to force a car on me I don't want. I'm a firm believer, get a person what they want so their mouth will be shut. Because you get a person something that they really don't want, they're just kind of like, oh my God, I got this car and I got it, you don't really don't want it. It's a hoopty, whatever. I can't pick no chicks up in a uh, a 72 Seville, this big old boat. It's not sexy about that. You know what I mean? Or whatever the situation. Yeah, Cornelius says the education system is outdated and it cares more indoctrinating people. Yeah, and it's all about indoctrinating them to uh, the uh, LGBTQ lifestyle. It's not telling the truth. All this other stuff. Your average logical thinker. Oh, our ed system is broken, no doubt. These teachers don't want to teach these badass kids and ratchet ass parents. My kid been out of school for 3 weeks for holiday. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's sad. And then for our kids, what is their way out? Oh, I'm gonna be a football star. I'm gonna be a basketball star. Oh, I'm gonna be a rapper. That's what these kids aspire. And what do our girls aspire to be? I'm gonna be a stripper. And then our girls that do go to college, they go there for the first year, they come back with a baby. I'm done, you guys. I'm done. I've seen it too many damn times. Too many damn times. Don P says homeschool them through an accredited black grounded online institution. Yeah, I mean and that's what I'm saying. And then some of you guys know your kids, especially when it comes to the boys. I'm really hard on the young men. You know, with Deontay, he's not school material. Put him in vocational school. He doesn't need a formal education. Just get him a GED or what, or put him in the military if the military will accept him. I met so many people from the other branches because now the Air Force has warrant program, but that did not graduate high school. They joined the military, however they got into it, and became warrant officers. They went to college for 2 years, got their 2-year degree, and are very successful people. College, I mean, school is not for everybody. It doesn't teach everybody what they need to know. Michael says, Donovan, I understand your point about school vouchers. However, there needs to be a balance between private and public schools. For school vouchers to work, private school tuition needs to be affordable. No, it doesn't. It's called supply and demand. Simple as that. Capitalism. I went to a private school for my up to 8th grade. So I went to private school all my life because DoD school is a private school. So if you go to DoD school in the military, you're a military kid, that's a private school because not everybody can go. You got to be military to go there. That's a private school. So I went to private school my whole life. And when I went to Catholic school, yeah, some Catholic schools were more expensive than others. That's just how it is. And the quality, you're going to pay for the quality you're going to get. What's wrong with that? Either you got it or you don't. Remember, black people, we got it. We got money for our weed. We got money for our drink. We got money for our clubbing. We got money for everything else, but we don't have money to invest into our children. But yet, when we get old and we ain't got nothing because we burned both candles at both ends, we want our kids to take care of us. And then we wonder why our kids are resentful toward us because we didn't do anything to help them. You know? It's just sad. Let me get down here. I don't want to be on here all doggone day. Samuel Maham said, Dr. Claude Anderson stated that Democrats will sacrifice losing everything before before they do something only exclusively and specifically for the black community. Absolutely. Samuel, this is why we don't have health care in this country, because black people will benefit from universal health care. They would rather burn this piece down than give Americans universal health care because the 13% of black people would benefit from it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don P says most of us don't know where to go back to, and the propaganda against the continent to dissuade us from wanting to go and see the place for ourselves. I know where my answers are from. Burkina Faso. Yeah, exactly. And ask yourself this, Don P. Now, I'm a world traveler, right? I've traveled all over the place. Your average logical thinker, you've been to Diego Garcia and stuff like that. If you guys ever get a chance, and I don't understand this, black people will go to Europe and Jamaica before they go to Africa. Just save up a few extra $100, you can go to Africa. But the average ticket right now going to Africa is $2,000. That's just the plane ticket. The plane ticket. And I think they do that to discourage us from going and seeing prosperous black nations and black people in a society, because the tickets are so outrageous. Because once you get there, everything is fine. It's just that initial ticket. So let's say me and my wife or and my children want to go. There's 4 of us. That's $8,000 just in the plane ticket. Whereas I could go to Europe or maybe go to Jamaica, all 4 of us for less than $1,000. Well, maybe 1,500. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I always wondered that. I was like, "Why are these tickets so high, but yet they tell us they ain't shit in Africa?" Your average logical thinker says, Donovan, I caught the shuttle from dorms area A and area B to area B where the hospital was, and I was either 45 minutes early to work or 15 minutes late. Yeah, yeah. Thank Lord for that military shuttle. I went to Okinawa. Man, when I was a kid, I could go from one end of the island to the other, just all day free. Just a beautiful thing. There are so many things that the military doesn't do now, and it's so sad. It is just so sad. Um, After 14, Don says, I was a warrant 2 and got 3 hats and a cot. Oh, a War 2 and got 3 hots and a cot. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Man, a warrant 2. See, I wish they had the warrant program when I was in the military because I just wanted to fly airplanes. And I came close to joining the Army and crossing over on a 12, was it a 1288 to the Army and to fly fixed wing over there and just become a warrant because in the, Air Force, you got to hit that desk, sooner or later. So really messed me up. Yeah, trade vocational school. Cornelia says, Charlene Edwards, go Donovan. Thank you, Charlene. You don't see those names anymore. Wanda, Charlene, those are some serious sister names. I I always, the elders say, trades a tradesman is never out of work. Yes, they can always hustle. Exactly. In our neighborhoods, we used to have somebody you can go and fix the car, do the carpentry, whatever you needed. But now, and it's so sad because we have so many single mothers that are raising families. They don't have time to teach their sons to do the manly things they need to do. I mean, they won't even make their sons take out the garbage. And if the kid does take out the garbage, he's spilling it all over the damn neighborhood. Oh, because he's so cute, Deontay. He's 6'4", 320, got his hair in twists, and I'm gonna take him to the beauty shop with me. That's what our young boys are being taught, and it's not their fault. It's not the mother's fault either. Where is the father? But then again, if the father's not there, where is the mother's brother? Where is the mother's uncle? Where is the mother's father? That's what my mother did for me. My mother was a widow, but I got exposed to my uncles. Unfortunately, a lot of my uncles were all in the same age group, but I got exposed to my uncles, the ones that were older. My grandfather, that's what my mom modeled my brother and I after. Your grandfather works, you got to work, working hard and doing what you got to do. You got to learn this. You're a man. You got to be a man, blah, 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 blah. My mom she just instilled that in us. And, some of her good friends, um, just, go over there, go hang with him for a while. And my Uncle Bennett, we're not blood relatives, but you can't tell me that man, I will do anything for that man when he tells me. It's like my Aunt Bennett and Aunt Winsome, my second set of parents. It's like if they told me something, it's like if my mom told me something. Yeah, Obamacare is a giveaway. A good point, Donovan. It's the left and right wing of the same bird. Exactly. Donovan, Michael Pan says, how do you convince your people to travel from Asia, Europe, and Latin America to the African continent? How would you frame the conversation? Just do it. Just do it. We should make going to Africa like Islam makes going to a Hajj to Mecca. It should be the same thing. You should go at least one time if you're an FBA to Africa, and I guarantee you, you will come back with a different mindset. The first time I went to Africa, to the Black Africa, the southern part of Africa, it changed my whole mindset. It changed my whole mindset. You know, Adon P says I traveled the Western and Eastern Europe world on OPM, and I was never military. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. There are so many things that we can do, and I don't want to labor this. By the way, if you guys and a lot of my friends call me about the VA and stuff like that because I know the system. If you guys have a veteran, family member, or somebody who is maybe they're in the streets, maybe they're homeless or something, There is a program in the military, in the VA, that they can apply for. It's called a uh, combat pension pay, something like that. Paraphrase, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's like combat pension pay. If you served 1 day in a military operation deployed in a combat zone or whatever, and let's say you're a veteran out there and you only get 10% or 30%, you're not getting 100% of anything, right? You can get combat pension pay, which pays about, I don't know. I know it's less than 100% of what the VA gives, but your average logical think. I know you've heard of it, but a lot of people uh, can qualify for that. That are veterans that are probably homeless, or they're functional, but they for some reason don't want to go and apply for certain things. So if you got Uncle Rufus that was a Vietnam vet or something like that, and he's kind of sitting out there and kind of doing that, and he was in Vietnam or something, he can apply for that program, and it's a pension, it's a combat pension, and something's better than nothing, and he'll get that every month, and that should be able to help. Oh, okay, okay, no, the W-2 and W-4 are IRS. Yeah, yeah, I think a warrant officer. My ass went to work 4 hours, 4 hours high school, 4 hours of work. Okay, 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 got it. Got W-2 and W-4s, yeah. Michael Pan says, Asia, Europe, and Latin America provided free public higher education and advanced vocational training. America is the only country where students don't have a lot of options after high school. Exactly. That's why when I see some of my immigrant friends, I'm like, why are you here? You need to go back to your country and build that country up with all those benefits. But here's the funny thing, Michael. I can't go to to those countries and use those resources because I'm not a citizen. I'm not native. That's how their laws are built. But we come over here and we give them everything, and they take advantage of that. I would have my Don P said, I would have my people pay attention to current events in the continent and how things are changing rapidly to see where the future is headed. Exactly. Thus, the African Diaspora News Channel app. Download it, subscribe. You could buy memberships for people, and that's what I'm going to be doing this year. I'm buying memberships for people to open their damn eyes. I'm no longer going to be spending $80, $90 on a gift. I rather just give the year subscription and know that these people are going to get some knowledge, hopefully. Um, Michael Pan says, Donovan, I have been educating more Asians about cash payment. Yeah, exactly. And freedom, chattel slavery. It is a work in progress. You are right about Asians taking advantage of black. Yeah, see, I'm not going to sit up here and just lie because I have nothing else to do. I mean, I have other things to do. I mean, if this wasn't an issue, you wouldn't. I just don't think people will put themselves out there unless you're a career politician and just be lying just to be lying. When people are telling you a situation, it's real life for them. And unfortunately, in my community, we're too busy partying, being entertained, and doing all this other stuff because it's that small group of us that's doing all the work, and these people are benefiting from it. It's sad. Cornelius Green, Obama tried to tell African countries that they should embrace gay marriage, and they weren't having that. Yeah, did you see Jamaica was pissed at the State Department, the embassy in Jamaica for flying the gay flag? Who do we think we are? These people don't want this stuff, you know? Yeah, Michael says some African countries provide free public higher education and advanced vocational training. Yes, but Michael, they provide it, but what good is that higher education when you have to go to another country? Because a lot of those Africans take that education that they got in their country. That's why you have Nigerians that are highly educated. A lot of these people, they're all educated, right, from Nigeria. But where do they go? There's not enough jobs in their country, so they go over, they go to Britain and Germany and stuff like that, looking for work and stuff. And then when they get there, their degree isn't certified to the level of that country. So they got to take a few additional classes, whatever the deal is. That's what I'm saying. Their certification is a little bit different. It's like being a teacher. I can't come from California and go to Georgia. The certification is different. So I might have to do something a little bit different. And that's the problem that they're having in these African countries. I mean, an African degree isn't on the same par as an American degree. When I went to Embry-Riddle, which is the best aeronautical school in the world. It's like saying Harvard. Countries would send their students there because it was the best college to go to. Even though they probably had their own aeronautical colleges in the thing, it just wasn't up to the standard of what the real deal is. Your astrological thinker says, Donovan, may I ask, how did your father pass and how old was he? My father was a casualty of the Vietnam War. He died in 1975. He was 25 years old, and he did not die in Vietnam. He died in the Gulf of Mexico in a drowning accident. Yeah, yeah. And like our parents of that generation, I don't know a lot of what happened and what was going on until this very day. I still don't. I only know the generalities of it. He drowned, and being a former Marine and all that other stuff. So it's yeah, I have glimpses of him, but so his one brother, Eric, my uncle Eric, he's like 5 years older than me. He looks just like my dad. He looks just like, well, a lot of my uncles on my dad's side, they all look alike, but Uncle Eric looks like my dad, and uh, there's a couple of them. Uncle Collie, we call him Collie. Yeah, yeah, they all kind of look alike. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My dad was very young, so I never really knew my father like that. So, oh no, no, no condolences. It's just it is what it is. I mean, you know, it was Vietnam time. You know how that is. It was draft time. It ain't like he wanted to go. I think he was drafted in the military. He got drafted and he had to go, and he was a Hollywood Marine. So I just have little memories of him and stuff. And my brother followed in his footsteps, and yeah, I sometimes think, um, what how I would have been as a man if my father was in my life. I had a stepfather, but it was my stepfather that got me into aeronautics, and my brother is into aeronautics, stationed down at Keesler Air Force Base, because my stepfather was a flight engineer in the Marine Corps, and we were around these airplanes, so we said, let's get. If this guy can fly airplanes, it can't be that hard, and that's how I ended up starting my career based on those influences. Um, but yeah, Pops was only 25. I'm 54, so I think I lived a good life and did a good thing for him. Yeah, big time, Don Pizza. I've got a couple of ideas to forward our people who are ancestral from there. Buckarina B Express. I'm working with African Ancestry and affiliate organization for the return of our people. Exactly. Donovan, do you call your stepfather dad or by his first name at first? No, I always looked at my stepfather as my mom's husband. So that's how I always looked at him. He wasn't, I was legitimate. So hey, that's my mom's husband and I'm going to respect him. And that's pretty much it. That's how I looked at him. So, it's one of those things. But we need to do better, you guys. Let me get off of here. I've been off here way too long. 14th Amendment, are the Democrats going to invoke it? Are they going to invoke the 14th Amendment, Article 3? I don't think they're going to do it. Your astrological thinker says, I made my kid watch a documentary about Eugene Bullard and made my kid promise me that if he ever joined the military, that he'd go Air Force and as a pilot, doctor, or intel. Yeah. Why not get that engineering degree? He gets that engineering degree. Boeing, Lockheed, Airbus, everybody, all the defense contractors are going to come for him. Me and my stepfather, not really. We don't share a bond. I haven't seen my stepfather in 30 years. Him and my mom, as soon as I joined the military, they went their separate ways. They were waiting for me to graduate, and they went their separate ways. So, uh, Don, feel like that your pilot, that has always been one of my dreams. When you can get off the ground and in the air, you're unstoppable. Exactly. But Don, it's never too late. You can get your private pilot license. I always tell people, get your private pilot license. You can still do it. So yeah, so that's going to be the question, you guys. I wanted to just give you guys a heads up. Thank you guys for joining me. I love this little soundbite. And we're going to see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, Demetra and I will do something tomorrow. Matter of fact, I'm going to call her as soon as I get off this this chat with you guys. But have a great night. It's the second day of 2025. Time is going like this. It'll be next month in February will be a year since my dog Belle died. I mean, it's been that quick. And Benny, oh my God. Ugh. Anyway, you guys have a good night. We'll see you guys later. Don't forget to check out your Average Logical Thinkers videos. She's doing great. Miss Sweet Talk has been going off. Go check out her videos. Let's all support each other in the new year, you guys. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be an interesting year. Let's educate these people and let's just keep doing what we're doing. Talk to you guys mañana. Work on your Spanish because you're going to need it in America.